we step on the mic, man, you notice the difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday, 8 through 10, all the bad vibes better stop. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. Lil' Coco be spitting that remedy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. You better take this shit serious. She dropping knowledge on head and it's free for the play. Tap in right now if you curious. We got the ham radio going lit every A. We go from people to family to pilots. Stay with me if you got something to say. Know it's important if we go acknowledge. Speak on the business and get out the way. What you gonna say about my mama? She winning, you rockhead.
Hello, welcome to the Casual Convo Show, where we have conversations about topics that affect the communities, personal and business relationships. We always have the casual convo, so you don't have to have the tough convo. I am your host, Coco, and of course, with me, as usual, every week is my amazing co-host, DJ extraordinaire, Big Boscoe from the Bronx.
Yo, welcome to the rainy day.
So before we begin,
Hurricane Helene is in the building.
Yeah, before we begin, let's just announce, I think he's having rainy conditions and so am I. So we may see some things, we may not. So let's just keep our fingers crossed. But today is a little different. We have some topics and questions that were sent in that we're going to go about, predominantly relationship stuff. So this is going to be great. Welcome back, Mike. Hello. Mike has been in Hawaii.
Yeah.
He's been traveling. Hey Jude. Oh, everybody popping in. Let's go. So of course we have some things going on. Some relationship stuff, some all kinds of stuff. I think it's really interesting and I think it's different from the cliche cheating things. It's real, it's full of substance. And I think things that make us really like, oh, here in North Carolina.
Who's this?
Mike.
Oh yeah? Where
are you in North Carolina, Mike? So we're going to go into that. But before we start, of course, mental health check-in, because I know those of you who listening cannot see what we see. We see people in the comments typing. So mental health check-in, I'm going to go first. I'm better. I called Boscoe today, and I also talked to Jude today. I wasn't in a good space. I wasn't really having a great day. And I think a lot of times when we have days or moments, I think it always takes the right person to talk to. So thank you, Bosco. Thank you, Jude.
Always.
For being an ear and giving me the space to express and not feel, no type of way. Thanks. So with that being said, I'm in a good headspace right now. So my mental health is I think it's doing great. What about you?
I'm doing good, man. Like I said, my health is improving, so I'm doing good. I've lost a few pounds. Just said I need to lose some weight. So all's good. It's just the rain here. It won't stop. That's it. Oh, he's in favor. Okay, that's on the other end.
So do you have any thoughts or do you want to just get into it?
Let's get into it.
I got one thing. So did you hear? I know you probably heard. We all have heard, and I've seen a lot of things that was determined. Before we get into relationship stuff, I think it's important to bring light to Marcellus Williams.
Yeah,
I didn't really know a lot about the case until recent. So I'm not even going to sit up here in front and act like I've been following this since day one. That's a lie. So, but what was alarming for me was even the little bit of reading up and research that I did do. Was that like far as like DNA presence, a lot of things were pointing to that he was innocent, and they still pretty much took his life anyway. So I think it's important for us to really that was, I don't know. I felt some type of way. I don't know him, never met him, anything like that, but that definitely kind of hit a little deeper, especially because we have sons and brothers and uncles and things like that. That could have been anybody's family member, and I think it's clear that as they to say, being an African American in America, and when we think that we are so we have all of these rights and we're treated fairly.
I believe you, dude.
This just shows like when we say Black Lives Matter, this is one of those, I think, prime examples of
Yeah.
why that statement is about Black lives. And so my prayers go out to his family.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin.
What's up, Fallon?
Hey,
Um,
Paul.
he was the thing about it, he was at peace because his last, they get the last statement
Mm-hmm.
to write out, and basically he said, God is the greatest of all. And that was it. That was his last words.
Right.
So I mean, it's messed up. But I'm glad he went in peace. I'm glad he was at peace with himself. I'm like, you know what? Whatever happened, happened. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
He went out. He went out with his boots laced up in his, yeah. So yeah, he was content. So I'm I hate that it happened for him, but I'm glad he walked out of here with his dignity and no regrets. Like, hey, whatever, I'm good.
I'm not
But
going to look at the comments because what we're talking about is not a laughing matter. One, I know Drew has had her herbal medication and she's in this comment section acting up. So I'm not going to look over there.
yeah.
I might periodically, but I'm going to just let her have today. So, like again, getting right in, open discussion on some stuff. People sent in some relationship stuff. Are you ready? Then the marriage stuff, I'm not going to touch on because I've never been married. So I'm not going to speak.
But I could touch on some of that being
Okay.
always married.
So, the first one I thought was a good opener to start with is, so you know how like when you meet your person and you do all of this stuff and to get them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
once you get them, the question was, but can you keep them? Like, so what do you think needs to happen to keep them, or where do people go wrong and not? Where do they go wrong?
I think they present themselves more than what they are because they want to impress the person rather than being like, if you're not a person who cooks, don't go out there and be like, yeah, I'm gonna cook you a good dinner, da 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 da. Whether you're a male, whoever you are,
Mm-hmm.
don't tell them stuff that you don't normally do and act like that's what you do. Because see, like just say, let's say for the man, he meets a woman and she says, yeah, I can cook, da 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 da, but she's really not a cook, but she happened to cook that day. He's like, okay, that's the check mark. He's checked because she likes to cook, and he might be one of them hardworking guys. So I love a woman who can cook. To
Mm-hmm.
find out she's not all that at cooking. If the same way, exactly, Mike, and the other way around, where the guy says, "Yeah, I'm this and that, and this and that," and that first day he goes all out to impress us to find out he ain't together like he is. Like he might wear some dope cologne when he go out that night, nice outfit, but when you see him, when you get with him, you're like, well, where's this guy who dressed nice, smell nice? Was that just a game? I think people need to present themselves for who they are. Sit down. That's why instead of going out on a date where you're spending $200, $300, go out on a coffee date where you actually talking to each other. You get yourself a drink and y'all sit there and talk to each other. Because then you get to see what a person really is through conversation. Because everything you need to know will come out in the conversation. So like I tell anyone right out the gate, when I tell them I don't make a lot of money. I tell them just like that.
Okay.
I said I got intangibles, but I don't. I'm not this type of person. I'm not that type of person. I have my times where I get distant and everything like that. I tell them straight up. You know, because I'm not gonna drag someone along. So I think we all need to yeah, Mike, right. I think we all just need to be straight up front and be who we are. You got another question there?
I'm sorry. I'm back. Listen, my device is doing some things. So if I go out, I'm gonna just come back on something different. Listen, I think I can speak for dating. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's old. Well, I think when something is fresh in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
um, what the freak? I think when something is fresh in the beginning, it's like I hope this don't conk out on y'all. I'm so sorry. You know, you had this. It's exciting. It's fresh. It's new. You like, oh, I like this person, right?
Yeah.
So it's the excitement of what is it like? You know how like when you first get something, it's new. You never experienced it before.
Yeah.
So you're really intrigued. You're really impressed.
Yeah.
After a couple weeks, you be like, ain't nothing really changed. It's just not new no more. But I think it's how you keep it. And I think some people, I agree with Mike, I think the fronting part is the comfort. I think some people get comfortable when they think they already sealed the deal. Okay, so now it's just this. And it's like, no, we're going to keep doing what we've done. So certain things can happen. Either it can be at a plateau or it's going to be an increased interest. So I think the communication piece is where people go wrong in getting to know phase.
You know what you got to also do? I learned this some time ago, and actually, I read a book, and the person say you have to love what you're doing for somebody. Just don't do it to keep the person. You have to love what you're doing. Like with me, I love to cook. So whoever I'm with, if I cook dinner, they're gonna be like, "Dang, you put some work in," because I love to cook. So you have to love what you want to do, rather than just being like, "Well, I need to do this because blah 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 blah." You have to love what you want to do. Now, anything I do for somebody, I love to do it. If I don't love to do it, I don't do it, and that's when I tell a person, "This is my deficiency when it comes to relationships." I let them know right out the gate, so it's no surprise. Well, okay, he's a little distant right now. You know, me too, Mike. Me too, Mike. And like, yeah, Drew's right. People ignore the signs in the beginning. That's why I say sometimes going out on a $200, $300 date is not worth it, because everyone fronts when the person's going out, you're spending money. Both sides are going to front. But if you just got to have a conversation with a person, you'll find out more in that conversation than you will on that dinner date where you got all this food on the table. Because some people just can't hold a conversation when they're forced to talk.
Very true.
So,
and I think the best dates are inexpensive. And I think a lot of people forget that the best dates are really inexpensive. They don't cost much, because you really focus, and it's not about that. I look at it like, what you start, you gotta finish and keep up.
Yep.
I ain't about to start no whole thing.
Yep.
Okay.
I would say my thing with me is food. I love to cook. I always sell that. I love to cook.
You like to cook?
Yeah, I love to cook. I don't like to cook for myself, but I love to cook for people. So that's why if I got into a relationship, that would be no problem with sustaining in a relationship. That person would know they're going to get a good meal. If I'm like, yo, I'm cooking tonight, they know they're going to eat. They know they don't have to rush home and cook dinner for me, because I love to cook for people. Like, I'll cook someone a dinner, and I won't even eat dinner because I ain't hungry, but I'll cook that person a dinner like, yo, here you go, da 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 da. You know, because I just love to cook. So you have to love what you do. If you're the type of person who loves to, now I'm speaking on a man's behalf now. I can't speak for women. If you're the type of man who loves to cuddle with a person, but likes the person to lay on top of you, where you're the masculine guy, you'll be fine, because when you're with that woman, you love doing that right there, and she's gonna love it because she's gonna be receptive of it, because that's what she wants. So if you love doing that to people, then that's your plus. You know, but see, it goes. Yeah, it just goes. You have to love what you do, and I think a lot of people, they go in relationships trying to impress people and just trying to be all this, and like with guys, yeah, I'm gonna be a Superman and da 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 da. You ain't got to. Don't say that. Don't say that. Just be like who you are. I never put money out there. Like, I might say, yo, I'm gonna take you out to eat, or I might cook dinner. Depends. I'll be like, what you want to do? You want me to cook for you? You want to go out to eat? Can you cook? Yeah, I'm cook. I'm a chef. I can cook what you want. You know.
Okay, so But I'm gonna find the charger real quick. The next question is, what are good foundations to base a relationship off of? I'll be right back.
Of course, communication is always first and foremost. Because if you ain't got no communication, everything is gonna die. If you can't talk, everything's gonna die. You have to be able to hear what the person's saying and make sure you articulate what you're saying to the person so they understand what you're saying. So it's not, well, I didn't understand what you're saying. No, make your words clear. Be straight up. Be blunt. You have to be blunt. So yeah, truth, trust, and honesty, Mike. Exactly. Those are the two main things, and it goes back to when you start out. Be who you are. That's about as honest you can get, is being who you are. Don't put on a facade, because you might be broke as hell working at McDonald's, and I'm not saying about McDonald's, but I'm gonna say you may not be making that money, and you want to let it be known. Look, I don't make a lot of money. I tell them I don't make a lot of money. I make enough for me to survive and go here sometimes, go there, da da da. But I don't make six figures. I wish, but I don't make six figures. I just know how to manage my money. Let me pull some more questions up because I believe I have them on my thing myself. Let's see. Yeah, everything has a hold on a second. Let me pull out. Y'all forgive me for a second, y'all. Let me pull up these questions.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Is you still there? Uh-oh.
Okay, there we go. I'm
Sorry.
back. I got disconnected. But basically what I said, Mike made a point, trust and honesty, of course. You have to go back to, it goes back to being yourself. Conversation. Communication is first and foremost. No communication, nothing's going to work. Period. And with that communication, articulate what you got to say, how you are, just like you got to be able to understand them. If you don't understand something, you need to ask questions. So nothing's a surprise. Because I think with a lot of people, and I keep reiterating myself, people want to be more than what they are because they want to impress somebody. And you impress the person being who you are. Next question was, I had the next question. Y'all got to forgive us, man. We just.
So, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. My thing is, what was the things that y'all said? Because I missed it. I'm so sorry. Forgive me.
No, you said, what's like the foundation? And I was telling him, just being honest. Mike said trust and honesty, and same thing. Keeping it real.
I agree. I think sometimes some people feel like their honesty can be rudeness, but I think when you be honest, you gotta understand what you're being honest about. Like, hear me out. I go through it a lot, but people tell you what they not going to deal with, what they don't do, right? Okay. If you keep drilling that, what you're not going to do, what you don't want, your don'ts, and you don't elaborate on your do's, that's going to turn me off all the way.
And you know what? I see that a lot when I check out people's podcasts and stuff like this. When I hear the people talk, they never talk about what they're going to do. It's always what they want and what they're not going to do. And I'm like, okay. And I hear this out of both sides, men and women. I never hear, okay, what are you going to do? What is it that makes you this man? What is about you that makes you this woman? And what I hate the most is when, and it's on both sides. I hate when, like, a woman to say, a real man would do this, or a man say, a real woman. How do you know what a real man, real woman is? Because neither one can say that the other person is not a real one when you're acting a certain way.
I agree.
Like if you're saying, let's just say, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm not saying, I'm not coming at women. I'm just saying, what, like a woman say, a real man would do this, so you want a traditional man. Just like a real woman do this, so that means you want a traditional woman. But you're not offering traditional values.
True.
You can't ask for this traditional person and this person to be this woman to be this, or this man to be this, and that's what you call a real man, a real woman, when you're not willing to be the same thing. Or like you said, all I hear is what you don't want to do and what you're not going to do and what you want. But I'm not hearing what are you going to do?
What is your another thing is part of that foundation is your moral belief. Like,
yeah.
What is it that you stand for? So I'm gonna jump the gun and I'm gonna put something else right here because I want to go into that.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about that and the foundation, I think that's that when people be like, "Oh, what you bring to the table," that becomes the whole conversation. And I think that's when people ask that. I think that's when you discuss what the foundation of your what is this going to be built off of, and this has come up a lot. It comes to, what you bring to the table. And the first thing, and I think I said this before about something else, and that goes into that whole people know your worth, know your value. And then it goes into the financial piece. So, okay, you bring money to the table. What else do you bring? And so people get an attitude. And if you get an attitude with that question, you're not the person for me. And I'm going to explain to you why. Because if you think this is it, what about emotional? What about spiritual? All this is all the table.
That's it.
So I can tell you, okay, yeah, we both work. We can both make money. We can do this. We can do that part together. But you still got to feed me in other ways. You still got to pour into, like, I can pour into you. I can be supportive. I can be nurturing. I can be all of these things, right? And then I'm like, fuck all that. Yeah, you can go ahead because clearly you don't I'm looking for a partnership,
right?
Companionship, things like that. So I think people get away from that and they only look at the materialistic side of what a relationship looks like or what looks like for the gram.
You know what? And the line that kills me when people say, "I am the table." No, right when a person tells me that they are the table, right then they just told me I'm not dateable. That's what they're telling me. That they're not dateable. Because if you say you are the table, what is like, okay, like men and women have their own, we think differently. Like a woman could come to us and be like, I make 6 figures, I have a master's, I got all this. We're like, so? Reason we say so is because we know that 6 figures, that 6 figures you're making, that's not our 6 figures. We know that. That's not our money. That master's you got, that's great. That's for you. How is it going to benefit me or us? So we don't care about that. That's what we always, most men, not all men, because we got a lot of knuckleheads out there. Most men just want 2 things: peace and punani. Those are the only 2 things we want. Peace, because if we could come home to peace, we can't wait to get back home.
Your mic went out. Your mic went out.
Hold on a second. Can you hear me now?
Loud
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
That was my phone calling in. Yeah. Exactly, Jude. Right. The table ain't nothing without chairs.
And I think people forget about the chairs. So and so when we talk about foundation, my thing is like, what morally, where do you stand? You can talk my freaking head off, but if you ain't talking about nothing, that's nothing. I don't want to hear about what you done bought. Tell me about you. What is your substance? And people, money is not substance.
No.
What else is it? What can we talk about? What can we do? That's not just involving thousands of dollars. Like the biggest intimacy is more intimate when you really get to enjoy your person. That doesn't have a monetary value.
Yep. Like if someone asks me what can I bring to the table, I tell them, I said, I bring a spiritual mind. You know, it's these other things, and see that's the stuff people bring to. But see, that's the problem when people talk about what they bring to the table. They keep mentioning the same things that the next man or the next woman could bring. Like the next man, like, well, I make this, I got that, I got a house, I got a car. Okay. Now the woman be like, I look good, da 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 da. Well, okay. So does that woman right there. So does that man right there. He has what you had. That woman right there has what you had. But it's the other stuff. What up here are you bringing to the table? It ain't in your hand. It's up here. What are you bringing to? That's why I say when me and you talked earlier, I said it's not what you bring, it's what we can. What do we both bring to each other that complement the other? Because if we complement the other, we're gonna build. Like I said, if you got your money and I got my stuff, then we can build together. Now you say no, no, no. Then okay, well, fine. Let me see.
Oh, come on, Tasia. Tasia said people nowadays are looking for somebody that adds more value to them, that helps them grow mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. But I agree. But I also think sometimes people look for what they can't give. Do that make sense?
Yeah.
So the thing is, you also have to see like what can you reciprocate, or where they lack, where can you fill?
Right.
You can't expect for a person to fully pour into you and you give them nothing. Because after a while, you're gonna, we talked about this earlier, you're gonna feel depleted.
Yeah.
So
and I think that's the problem. People, people want stuff that's gonna help them, but not help us together. And I said that's that's why I look at I go to a lot of podcasts and I check them out because I like to see what people are thinking, and like I said, they all say the same thing. They all say the same thing, and none of them are talking about what they're bringing or what they offer. It's always, well, if they can't do this for me, if they can't do that for me, that's all I hear. I'm like, well, you just eliminate yourself because you just tell me everything's about you. And with the guys, it's not. They don't look at what they offer, what they can give. It's just the money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got money. Okay, that's fine. Now, when they get used for that money, they be like, oh, that old bitch, man, she's a gold digger. No, you gave it. You put that out there for her. And I'm not being Superman right now. I'm not simping. I'm just saying, guys, put the money out there. So if she's going to take you for your money, that's your fault because that's what you led with. And if you're going to you're going to be her meal ticket, all right, then be the fool. You did that to yourself. And I see with a lot of guys these days, they don't have no game. And when I mean game, I'm talking about they don't have anything up here. They lead with their pockets. They don't have no conversation. They can't talk about something. I always say, if you can't talk to me about something outside of the hood, we don't have a conversation. Period. I need to know what's going on outside of the hood. Period. Tell me about. I'm not asking you to know the stock market or anything like that, or the S&P. No, I ain't asking that. But know something besides what's going on in the hood, because I don't care about I don't live in the hood. I don't care what's going on in the hood. I don't give a damn. If it ain't affecting my daughter and my niece, I don't care what's going on over there.
Yeah, sure. So he said social media depicts this picture of a perfect relationship. Social media depicts this picture of a perfect relationship involves huge amounts of money. And that's unrealistic. But I also think what you see, and we see it a lot of times, they be the same couples that end up on Snap. Like, you'll see the image of the glitz, the good trips and all of that stuff, but ain't no relationship perfect. And I think you look for perfection. You're going to have hiccups. You're going to have ups and downs, and it's how you work through them. It's how you can get through it without giving up on each other. And I think
that's it. People give up too quick. People give up too quick. It's like, I wasn't happy. Okay, well, what happened? Well, this is what happened. Did y'all try to work things out? No, I just got tired of it. But you didn't try to work it out. And I think that's a lot of what people go. People want the quick fix. They want things to be perfect. And as soon as something go bad, they're ready to get out of it. Ready to say, okay. Then a lot of times, it's that person who's ready to get out of it, who doesn't want to try to work things out. They be the problem, you know. And it's crazy. And I see that's why it's hard for me to get into a relationship, because it's like no one wants to be accountable, man.
At all.
Nobody wants to be accountable. It's always that person's fault.
Juice said something that I'm gonna go back to something that I think was a good statement. I missed it. Juice said, "Don't look for you and your partner." I think that's important, and a lot of people they look. I'm gonna tell you the thing that I hate that I hear, and I hear it often. Dating, a motherfucker got proved himself to me, and you know what my response is? I ain't proving shit. If I can't be myself, what am I going to prove? See, when you got to prove some shit, and the motherfucker say that means you want me to be phony for you to like me or to be interested in me. I'm not doing none of that. If me being me ain't it, then it just ain't it. Like,
yeah,
that's just it. And I think it's great to I don't want nobody that's exactly like me, because then that gets boring. And I think some people are afraid to let people into their world, but I think that's also what I see is there are a lot of unhealed people that look for validity and look for fulfillment that they don't have. Like, you can't expect for a person that is open and unguarded to give you all of this to try to make, if you're not already healed and already in a space of peace and have some sense of internal happiness, you're not going to ever be happy with that person, because now they got to not only make themselves happy, but they got to make you happy, which brings me into something else. So I'm kind of going out of order, but it's falling right into place.
Oh, let me read Fallon's comment right quick. She makes a good point. I've also noticed people scared to be alone and they just settle for anything. That's true.
Very true. But that's all to me. That also goes into unhealed. I've been in a space where I like unhealed. When you are healed and you're okay with you, that there's a difference. My biggest fear is not being alone. It's not having companionship, right? And I think some people don't know how to not be attached to someone, and they will risk their happiness, their peace, and everything. And not understanding, when you are healed, the right person that's going to compliment you is going to come into your whole realm of being, right? And it's like, it ain't nothing wrong with being. Sometimes you got to be alone to really see what it is that you want, and not the constant mistakes over and over again. Did that make sense?
Yeah, I was gonna say, because that's what helped me. When I got out of relationships and said, okay, I'm just gonna chill, and the years passed. And I was like, dang it. And I didn't realize so many years had passed since I had a relationship. But I also was like, okay, dang. Everything, it's like my mind cleared. I was able to focus on things. So now when I dealt with people, I've seen a lot of signs, and I just like, okay, remember last time? I seen a lot of signs, and I was able to vet people like, nah. And it was easy for me to let go of bad situations rather than trying to hold on. And my niece would tell Marina Bell, she'll tell you, when I found something wrong, rather than be like, I'm gonna try to work through it. I'm like, nope, we gotta end this. We gotta end this, because you ain't making no improvements.
Right.
You know, if you're not making any improvements, then we gotta call it.
Was that me?
What's that?
What
that you are? What do you mean?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my webcam. None went out. You know what?
I hear though.
All right, let's do this. While that's out, you keep talking. I'm right here.
Yeah. People have to heal and not just jump to the next person, because it's not even fair to that person you're jumping to, because you might still be into that one that you just got dumped, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one's really trying to bond with you, but you still thinking about the ex,
Right.
you know, and you are hurting that new person because you let this person on. You haven't even healed yourself. And I think those who don't heal, they tend to do the same thing, as in blaming everyone for whatever went wrong. When you still got this hurt from this last person, you jump into another person, then that goes wrong. You say, I can't stand this person because of da 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 da. But you're not really remembering you never healed from the last guy. So you jump to a new person. Y'all didn't get along because it might be the trauma from that last relationship that caused problems in this one. Sometimes you got to take your time and you got to sit back and be like, okay, this ain't working. I'm gonna have to try something else.
Right.
And I think people just don't want to be lonely, to where they just jump, and then that's where your body count goes up, 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 up. And they say, oh, well, my body count shouldn't matter. Well, when you're dealing with this guy today, the next week you with another guy, the next week you with another guy, it matters then, because it tells you you're not committed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it tells me. Now, I know when you get older, your body count tends to go up. But when you got a new guy or a new girl every other month or whatever, that tells me you got commitment issues.
Yeah. Some people
Well, you
don't,
haven't
but I
healed yet.
think, do you think a lot of people are just afraid? I think a lot of people are afraid of commitment because they're afraid that it's not going to work. It's that whole starting over thing. So they
Yeah,
kind of just avoid the whole thing.
yeah, it does. That's what I was talking about, dude. It goes both ways. Yeah, I think so too. Commitment, yeah, because I had commitment issues, and it's not so much that I'm afraid to commit with someone. It's just I know how I am. I know that when I get home, I get into my music, I get into myself. I may ignore the person, and I'm not gonna say I may just not want to be bothered with the person, and I know that's how I am. So I'm not gonna put someone. I'm not gonna give something to somebody that I know I can't be committed to. You know,
Yeah.
period. I can't do it. Okay, you back on now. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and if you got commitment issues, hey,
I was
turn
on
off
my
the
way.
thing, man.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You got feedback. There you go. Um, if you got commitment issues, just be honest about what are the issues. Like I said, mine is just I tend to be standoffish, where I just want to be by myself. I'm not gonna hang with nobody else. If I say I'm going home and be by myself, I'm going home and be by myself. I ain't going with nobody else. Just be honest. And hello, can you hear me? Well, anyway, let's keep on with the show because she can't hear me. Right, Jude. People need to respect personal space in relationships too. I think that's a problem with a lot of people. I can't hear you, Coco. I think that's a problem with a lot of people. They act right. Yeah, you're right. I agree. I'm with you. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think what's up, Jay Nate? I think that's a problem with people when they think that you just want to have time to yourself. They think you got a lot of stuff going on. When I mean, you got some people out there who you can't trust. But you know, if you can't get that person in space, then you know, I mean, everyone needs space, man. You know, especially if you got a guy or a woman who's just
I'm over
not
this.
going anywhere.
That was a lot for me.
I hear you. We hear you. We hear you.
I'm over here
Hey,
sweating.
I'm
No,
just
I had
freestyling.
to laugh at myself. I had to laugh at
Oh,
myself.
I'm
I was here.
freestyling.
I
I'm
was with you. I
freestyling.
was listen.
Yeah.
Rich, can we get a bloopers episode? Because I swear I was having all kinds of difficulties trying to switch that out. Can I just tell y'all real quick what I was doing? Because I'm tickled because I keep laughing at myself. If anybody knows me, knows I'm tech dumb. I don't know nothing about technology. So I'm over here trying to switch device and all this other stuff because this other one is getting ready to die. So we live. But I heard you though.
Yeah, I was just
Hey
freestyling
Jay,
it, man.
thank you. And now everything is falling apart. So it was talking about that I really wanted to get into when it comes to I think the whole
You said a who?
and all of that stuff. So even when you like getting into stuff, so what does it take care of yourself and each other in a relationship? Like how do you how do you take care of yourself? But you know how you still got to take care of yourself while you're in a relationship, but you can't forget about your person.
I just look at it personally wise, like I should say personally, continue doing what you were doing beforehand. Like if you like to draw, draw. If you like music, do your music. And with the person, bring them into what you do. Show them what you do. They might enjoy it. You know, bring them into whatever hobbies you have. If you drawing or whatever, if you do music, if you paint, bring them in. You know, be like, hey, check it out. Da 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 da. Bring them into your stuff. You know, and with them, in terms of their stuff, whatever they're doing, you know, find some interest in it. You know, help them out. Like, suppose they paint or draw. Yo, can I help you anything? Da 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 da. You know, just support them in what they do because you find yourself loving what they do as well, and that's helping them. So, yeah, just keep doing what you do. You know, don't give up. I think a lot of people give up a lot of stuff they did. You said what?
I think it's also I think it's also you got to stay grounded to a degree. Meaning, yeah, huh?
I said always stay grounded.
Yeah, if you don't stay grounded and true to yourself, I think it's easy to get lost into your person. Meaning, you give so much of yourself, you forget about you, and then a lot of times when a person is on the receiving end, if this is what you give, that's all they know. They don't know how to reciprocate it, right? So I think part of doing it is always, I think it's okay to take some time to yourself. Not saying that you gotta, it's not saying like ignore your person or whatever, but sometimes a day to yourself, like a pamper day, something that you do for you. For your mental sanity, whatever, is also taking care of you. That way, the clearer you are, you can you can be there for your person. So I think it's time for yourself and remember to take care of you, and then you'll be good.
And I think some of that comes, some of that comes with the communication stage. Because see, that's why when you're sitting down talking, you need to tell a person like, hey, sometimes I like to take drives by myself. You know, let them know so there's no surprise. Like, hey, I'm gonna take me a drive. I'll be back. You know, because if they notice how you were beforehand, they're like, okay, I know this person's going to take a little ride. You know, whatever. Da 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 da. Whatever you do, let them know beforehand why you're in the talk stage. So it's no surprise. Like, hey, I'm gonna go take me a little ride. I'll be back. You know, and you have to make sure you build that trust in that person so you can get in your car and take a ride and come back and there's no issues. If you give a person a reason not to trust you, you can best believe you ain't going for that ride. Or if you do, you're not going to go out the door happy. You're going to be riding because you're angry rather than just riding just to, you know, be you.
Yeah, if you like, yeah, there you go. If you change, you are. As some people, they come what they think they partner with them to be, or they change completely who they are, and then they become unhappy themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna go back. And for me, when people be like, "You got to prove," I feel like that's what that's saying. I need you to be what I want you to
Mm-hmm.
be, and not, you get what I mean. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not in that business. Been there, done that.
No.
That doesn't work for me. I'm in a season where I'm going to be me. You
Yeah.
know, either
Yeah.
it's going to be enough or it's not. But I think some people don't be themselves, so they create a lifestyle and they create a lane that's not true to who they are, but it's everything that this person wants, and they're so focused on making this person happy that they're not making themselves happy.
Yeah.
Jay said
June
people
makes the
need to
point.
find their own
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna read. Yeah.
identity first. That's right. He said people need to find
Some
their
people turn into whoever they're
own
dating. Yeah, he's right.
and keep it also. Some people, I just lost connection. Am I still here? And it's into and nothing of your own. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hmm.
I agree.
That goes back to what we said earlier when people talk about, they always talk about what they want and what they expect, but they never tell you, okay, well, what are you bringing? What is it that you do? I guess Coco's out again. Like I said, oh, there she goes. She's back. All right, you went out
I
for a
had to
second.
switch to a strong.
Oh, okay. Jude said, accept that change is not always a bad thing. Sometimes you have to make changes in order for y'all to grow as one, which is a fact. And I think that's one of the things wrong in relationships today. Nobody wants to make any changes. Everyone wants things their way. And as soon as they're unhappy, they want to blame the other party, but they don't want to. They don't want to meet halfway. And you have to meet halfway. There's giving, there's take. You can't just take, because in the end you're gonna lose. And I think a lot of people, they don't want to take. I mean, they want to take, they don't want to give, but you have to. Yeah, it's a two-way street. You got to meet in the middle. And a lot of people don't want to do it. Jay Bear says Coco need a wellness check, y'all.
I do, because I'm trying not to get frustrated. And anybody who knows me knows this is bothering me. Can you hear me?
That's cool. Yeah, I hear you.
All right. It's
Well,
raining out here too, so
yeah, it
I'm sorry.
is.
Um,
Okay.
so the other thing is, how do you handle individual change in a relationship?
It depends on what the change is. I mean, it just depends on what the change is. If a person is if I know a lot of stuff walking into the relationship, then the change is easy. But don't change it to somebody you actually were before I met you. Like, if I met you, we were dating, da 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 da, and I seen this one person, and once we get serious, you're this other person. That's not the change I want. I wanted the person who I met, who I took out, da 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 da, and I got to know. Don't change into somebody else. Now, if you're trying to change for the better, of course, yeah. I mean, you're trying to be better, but I'll tell you, I'm happy with who you are. But if you think you can be better, okay, fine. Just don't knock yourself in the head if you fall, or don't beat yourself in the head if you fail doing something. You know, Paul says you can't just give. Oh, okay. You just can't give neither. You eventually have to take upon yourself to say and start feeling that you're being used. True that. True that. And you got people on both sides they'll try to use. They'll take it quick. Everyone wants to use a nice guy or a nice girl. Everyone wants to use that type of person. Everyone wants to, because they know that person together. That person's going to do everything for you, and they'll use them. That's why there's a lot of good girls and good guys are going bad, because you had that one, that bad guy or that bad girl who just used them. Period. What you got to say?
Individual change. For me, I think individual change. You know how, like, some people, they either grow together or they grow apart.
Mm-hmm.
So if I like to I like to what is the word I'm looking for? I like to feed off of energy. Do that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if my partner is a go-getter, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
that's why I love people with like a drive. I love people who
Mm-hmm.
always want to keep going forward and never just
Mm-hmm.
comfortable right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to encourage me to do, you know what I mean? Because you
Mm-hmm.
ain't hold on, we on this path together. And I think
Mm-hmm.
people forget the partnership piece, and y'all gotta try to stay on the same wavelength. You ain't
Mm-hmm.
gonna leave me behind. So also, if I'm growing and if I grow, I think I still want you to be supportive. But a lot of people don't know how to be supportive, even
Mm-hmm.
in a friendship or a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
They
I
don't.
think part of that individual change is to still not think you better than or
Mm-hmm.
forget that you're in this thing and you have somebody with you. So I think when it
Yeah.
comes to individual change, I think it still has to be fairness and I think it still has to be inclusivity. It's if depending on the status of your relationship. I ain't talking about just somebody you talking to.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you're like really in something, I think
Mm-hmm.
that has to be inclusive.
Yeah,
Did you hear
I
me?
agree.
Did I
Huh?
cut? Oh, did I cut off?
No,
Um,
no, not yeah. No, you
Jay
good.
says, be patient. Depending on the situation, some of us are still figuring out how to actually date and be in relationship as adults. But also just be open with your partner if you're having changing feelings or demeanors. I agree.
Mm.
I agree.
Yeah, Jay. When you
I
get
agree.
older, Jay. I mean to cut you off. When you get older, Jay, you figure things out a whole lot faster than you do in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and even your 50s. Like I'm 60 now, and I noticed when I turned 50, a lot of the decisions I made were easier and quicker, and they were more solid than they were in previous years. I learned how to I learned how to weed things out, weed people out, and see through the bullshit, and learn like, okay, this is bullshit. Don't even entertain it. Keep it moving. This person, no, let's keep it moving. They say once you get older, because you feel like your time is precious, especially when you get in your 50s. Your time is precious, and you ain't got time for no nonsense. And that's how I am now. If you even bring any speck of nonsense to me, I'm like, you know what? I ain't got nothing to say to you, man. Just keep on moving. I don't
I
have
think
time.
people know how to date. People just don't know how to be honest about what they want as far as like what they seek in a partner. So I think when it comes to I'm trying to think how to say it. I've got tongue tied. I
Yeah.
think people complicate dating and make it more than what it is. Just
Hmm.
enjoy who you with and take it. I think people put too many stipulations and expectations. When you have
Hmm.
all of these expectations and this checklist, and you walking in the door with a checklist instead of genuinely getting to know the person and taking it day by day, I think
Hmm.
that's when it gets a little like
Yeah.
janky-ish, so to
Yeah.
speak, instead of just really enjoying the person that you with. If everything gotta feel like a test.
Yeah.
No, I mean, dating is really just being you. Can y'all match? Do y'all, I mean, y'all gonna have some hiccups. All right, how you get through it? My biggest
Hmm.
thing is we can have disagreements, but we're gonna talk
Hmm.
about you're not gonna talk at me. We can talk about it. And I think those
Hmm.
are the key points in the whole getting to know stage. How do you resolve? And it's not
Um,
gonna always be peaches and cream.
yeah, Jay Bear said it's harder to date when you're 40 and 50s. So hard to find out one for actually it's not, Jay. Um,
It's harder for women.
yeah, it's harder for women. For men, it's not. What for men, I'm gonna tell you how easy it is to weed out who you want. Be who you are. Be a old. Don't try to be one of these young guys out here. Then it's hard because you got all the dogs barking up your tree. But if you got a mature mind and when you're 40 or 50 and you're mature and people see it, oh, it's easy to find the one you want. It's easy. Now, the one thing I found when you are 40 and 50, you get a lot of young ones coming at you, 20, 25, 30. They come knocking at your door like crazy. Some are serious to where they're just ready to settle down because they're tired of these young boys. But you got a lot of them who see you as the older man. They want that older man, they still want to turn up and everything. What they want, or older men, because they know that older man's not going to be out here running the streets and all. So they know they got somebody waiting on them. Those are the ones you got to weed out. But if you present yourself the right way, won't be no problem finding yourself 40 or 50 years old. I
It
had people
depends.
come. You said what?
It depends. I
Yeah, I mean, it
find,
depends.
and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I've
Mhm,
never been married, right? But what I
mhm,
find is dating later in life, you run
mhm,
across people who may have been in long-term relationships or or in
yeah.
marriages, right? So
Mhm,
once that shit don't work, or depending on how it went, it leaves a bad taste in their mouth. So
true.
then you run into people with trust issues, with commitment, or they feel like everybody's going to do what this person done, or because this one had
Mhm,
these steps, what didn't turn out this way,
mhm,
it makes it harder on a person that's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's not me.
mhm,
You know what I mean? And instead
mhm,
of going into something with a clean slate, like this is a whole new
mhm,
person. I don't know this person. I don't
mhm.
be I'm just saying that from my personal experience.
Yeah,
And
I'm with you. I agree.
I just feel like that's what makes it complicated because so many people get guarded. I mean, and I
Yeah,
think older
I
people,
agree.
when it comes to like heartbreak, and granted, everybody takes heartbreak, everybody takes things differently. And that's why I
Yeah,
said the healing piece is significantly important
yeah.
because
I
all you
mean,
do
I
is
agree with you.
damage people and hurt other
Mhm,
people because it's
mhm.
like you coming in with all of these stipulations. Because I'm telling you, I hear the stipulations of what I'm not going to do, what I'm not going to tolerate, what you're not going. And I'll be like, well, what the fuck? Okay, like
You know what?
can you get to know me and see if that's a characteristic of me first?
When I talk to a person like stuff like that, I ask them, what are your pet peeves? What do you like? What do you dislike? I ask them, so I know, like, okay, all right, I hear that. I'm not gonna be like this. What I don't do that. Like, what is your pet peeves? Da, 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 da. Like, okay, and I'm like, here's mine. Da, da, da. But when you say, "Well, I'm don't," that's when you're like, this interview is over. Because I'm like, nah, you ain't gonna tell me what you don't. Nah, you're not gonna tell me that. We can talk about it. She ain't gonna tell me nothing. Let's talk about it. And I think that's it goes back to we said at the top of the show. People, when you hear them, they talk about what this is what I want, this is what I expect. I don't like this, da 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 da. But they never say, okay, well, what about you then? What do you have that that you can bring into a relationship that's going to benefit us together? And that's the thing. What are we going to? If we're going to be a couple, what is it that you're bringing that's going to benefit us as a couple? Because this is what I'm bringing. This is what I'm bringing. And and this might sound kind of rude. Like people say, well, I can cook, I can clean. I say, well, I can too. I cook. I say, I clean like I'm in the military. So I'm real particular when I clean. Not all the time, but I try to get it, I can too. I'm not looking for them to tell me they can cook, they can clean, they can shop. I
Mhm.
don't want to hear that. Most women can do that when they want to. So I don't want to
Okay.
hear that. Stimulate my mind. Let's
Jude
talk about
says,
things.
okay, Jude said dating was annoying when I was single.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody trying to be something they see on TV. Younger
Mm-hmm.
people are immature and older people be set in their ways. You just gotta take a shot and cross your fingers. Very true. And why
Yeah.
don't women cook no more? That's a lie because I cook all the time. So I'm very domesticated. So I can't agree
Mm-hmm.
to that. I don't know. But there are a lot of women. Um Hand TV said pussy ain't enough no more. And I mean, and I agree, dick ain't either. But oh, I'm sorry,
Right.
y'all. That was
No, you good.
hand
Yeah,
TV
well,
got me using these words. I'm sorry.
well, yeah,
So
hold on. Before you go further, like what Jude said, why don't women cook anymore? You cook, but you know what? A lot of women these days don't cook. You're older women, so you came from that pedigree. But there's a lot of
no,
people,
I
young
heard a lot
women,
of older women don't cook either.
but they
That's what I'm
had
saying.
their days
I,
though.
I, I
They
can't
don't
agree
cook.
with. I can
They don't
agree.
cook.
I can agree, but I had to like some of us, there are some, because I do know some
Mm-hmm.
that she's not there eating dogs. They're
But think
eating
about what you
cats
said.
too.
But think about what you just said. A lot of older women don't cook, but did they cook back in the day?
I don't know. That I
That's the
can't answer.
same. They're probably tired, but I'm talking about the women coming up today. It's just like the men today. They don't know how to tend the house. They don't know how to shop. A lot of these dudes, you send them to the store and tell them to go. They don't know how to shop.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to do none of that stuff. They don't know how to do nothing around the house. They don't know how to. They don't know how to do none of the stuff that the men knew how to do when we coming up. Like a lot of the women of the day in their 20s, some in their 30s, they can't cook. They don't. They say, "I'm not cooking. I'm not cooking. I ain't cooking for no man on a date." Da, 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 da. Well, okay, that's one of the things I want to see if you can do. But you say, oh,
She
you
made,
ain't my man. I ain't cooking. Oh, okay.
she also made a good point. I do see this. There are a lot of men who are more
The,
domesticated women today. So women do not cook anymore. All the cooks are
Jude,
men.
stop, man. Just stop, Jude.
No, but she's hitting on a point because,
No,
and
I'm
they're
talking
like,
about the
I don't need
dog.
nobody to
No,
cook for me. And I'm like,
I'm talking about her other comment.
oh, they
The,
eat the dog.
that's what I'm talking about. No, she making points. I'm talking about that one in the middle. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, but no, I agree. But getting back to her whole, like, the dating, it can be annoying. It's always like a hit or miss. But I think the biggest piece with dating is a lot of people don't acknowledge that they're flawed. Everybody think that they're
Exactly.
perfect.
Yeah.
Or when you be like, okay, so what's wrong with you? Instead of getting defensive, instead of saying, well, this is, my thing. Somebody asks me, I'm gonna tell you, okay, I'm running that shit down. I know
I'm gonna tell him.
what budget is. So it's kind of
Yeah, I'm
like
gonna tell him.
some people are unrealistic. And then that's like, okay. And then if I ask, tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it ain't, sometimes it don't be for you. Some people think when you ask, and I think when you ask certain questions of projection, like what are you projecting, or I
Uh-huh.
like up. I don't know about nobody else. I do. Like, hey, like, so, da, 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 da. And if you say something is wrong, it may not be a change that I need to make for you. It may be a
Mm-hmm.
change that I need to make for me, just
Right.
overall. And I
Yep.
think that's okay. And I think a lot of times, even in relationships, you also have to take the critique of your partner as to not only what this person want to see from you, but that can
Mm-hmm.
also make you a better overall. And I think that's where Drew coming from when she said to set in their ways, like you can't, they just ain't gonna change. It is what it is. You stuck and this is what it's gonna be.
Yeah. 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 Um. Yeah, I agree. I think, and it goes back to being traditional, man. People want these traditional people. The men want traditional women who do this, da da da, and the women want traditional men who do this and do that. And the same ones who want this don't do it. Like me,
Yeah.
I'm a traditional man. I'll be honest, I'm a traditional man. You might say, I don't believe it. I'm a traditional man.
You
I
saw my
really am.
eyebrow go up. I was getting ready to
I
say
don't
it. Don't
know.
do
I'm a
that.
traditional man, really. I'm a traditional man. I come home and ask anyone I they say he comes home at night. When I get off work, they always say, I come home straight home from work. I do all of that stuff. I don't hang. Even now, I'm single. I don't hang out. I come up with my niece to tell you when I get off work, I always call her like she's my wife.
Why
I
you always
call
say
her.
and it right about here? You always got to go ask her. We not gonna ask her. Just
No, I'm
please
just
don't.
saying. I'm just saying. I always she'll tell you I call her on my way home.
Okay.
That's how I've always been. I always come home at night because I would say when I was with somebody, I come home at night. I don't do none of that stuff because bad things happen at night. You know, I come
What
home.
about, do you think it's important to keep your relationship private?
Oh yeah.
And what the whole relationship or pieces of your relationship, or explain to me what is that for you?
How y'all doing? Never tell them how y'all doing and the things that you do. Never tell them how you doing. People are
My
nosy.
when
Well,
it
no, I mean,
I
okay. Let me just be. Don't don't give out details about anything going on until, like, suppose me and you have an issue. Don't tell nobody about you. Keep it in house. Y'all work it out. Don't tell your friends. 'Cause like y'all tell me, single women keep single women single.
Yep.
Men do the same thing. Men will be like, man, get that bitch. You know, we
I
just
will make everything is private. I
everything's
agree with
private.
Mike. I think
Everything's private, man.
my issue is that I mainly had, and women get this charge, but I'm noticing a lot of men do it. And this is only I'm speaking as a single woman,
Mm-hmm.
is don't talk to other people about me and you haven't talked to me about something.
Exactly.
And then you like, yeah,
Exactly.
because I was telling someone, especially a person who does not know me, because they're going to be biased to you. And
Right.
second,
Exactly.
F them. I don't know these people and I don't care.
Mm-mm.
I don't have to deal with them. You got to deal with me. So have the conversation with me. I don't like when people, men or women, put outside people, and even in my friendships, it's like I don't get
What's up,
involved in
Tiff?
my hey Tiff, I don't get involved in my friends' personal business. Do they share
Mm-mm.
things with me? Yes. When it comes to certain stuff, friend, you got to decide on that because that's the who you got to be. I can't make certain decisions for you. I don't have no
Mm-mm.
advice because I'm single. The single friend should never give no goddamn advice. I might be like,
Mm-mm.
oh girl, you right, because it may sound logical, but this is your
Mm-hmm.
life. You get what I'm saying? But I'm not about to
Yeah.
be like, oh, leave them. No, you got to make that choice. I can't tell you what's happy because guess what? If you only tell me about the bullshit, you're not telling me about all the times he had you over there grinning because you fell for something. So obviously there has to be something good about something. So you're not going to have me make a biased decision or judge somebody I don't know. And I don't want to know my friends, significant others, or partners. Y'all not my friends. Y'all in a relationship with my friends. You are a mutual.
Yeah.
so,
Right on. Right on.
so
You
I
know.
just feel like no, don't. But that bothers me when people go outside and you want to say all of it, and I'm like, where all that come from? So by the time you come to me, you already have a conclusion or you have an idea of how the
Mm-hmm.
conversation is supposed to go based off of what somebody else told you, and then you done put up all of this stuff. But I guarantee you, you did not tell your part.
Hey, let me talk to Jay right quick. Before I do, yeah, I'm with you. Like I've been on Facebook since 2011. I've been in a few relationships since then, but can nobody on Facebook ever say they knew I was in a relationship? You know why? I don't tell nobody nothing because I ain't been in one lately or nothing like that. I'm just saying
I
nobody
still went
knew.
up on the page.
Not nobody because I don't put nothing. My niece had to find out one time that I was in a where I was dealing with somebody, and that's all because it slipped. Yeah, she did this. Yeah, shit. Yeah. I don't tell nobody because if you find out, you find out. But I don't tell nobody because it's nobody's business. As for J Nate, you got to ask yourself: sit down and ask yourself some of these questions like, do I have any more animosity towards my ex? Can I talk to any of my exes without having an issue? Do I deal with any of my exes? If you don't have any animosity or anything like that to where I don't care about them, whatever, I can move on, then you heal because they're not affecting you. Also, can you honestly meet someone and not say to the person, you're not like my ex or my ex used to do that? If you can do that without saying that to anyone, if you can meet a person without bringing them up, whatever, I see you as healed. You have to know what you want in that person. Because once you get in your 40s, and like I said, your 50s, people think a lot of people by that age has been married, had kids, or whatever. They've been through all the BS, da 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 da. Some are pig-headed. Some are going to have one-track minds where, no, this is what happened. Like we said earlier, they're not going to be like, they didn't do nothing wrong. The other person was wrong. They're not going to talk about how they used to curse the person out because they felt like cursing them out, or they used to tell their friend, "Yeah, this man." They're not going to tell you none of that stuff. They're going to say he or she did this. Period. If you meet somebody, if you can talk to the person and not mention your past in terms of bashing the person or what they did, okay. If you can't do that, then you ain't healed yet.
And no person should even, I think, and then I'm glad you mentioned that because I wanted to touch on that too. Like the part that I hate is when you are getting to know somebody or in a relationship
Mm-hmm.
and you share certain things of you. And I think part of sharing and being open about even your past experiences, it could be
Mm-hmm.
something like a conversation that happened and you share
Mm-hmm.
something, right? And that could be part of a behavior or that shape, how your thought process is or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like when people use that against you.
Right.
Or that's why. No, don't do that. I shared that with you
Mm-hmm.
because that was something and I trusted you. And I think
Right.
that's a part of building trust. Once you do that, I'm completely turned off.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm with you.
I don't know about anybody else. And going back to the privacy thing, I think when when people, especially men, I don't know what it is about that. Well,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I dating men, when they gotta talk to everybody, why am I even in your conversation? I don't know them people. Like, that'd be my thing. Especially, if we just getting to know each other and you
Mm-hmm.
can tell me all of these conversations you have with people. That
Hey,
does
Tiff.
that leaves a sore taste in that leaves a bad taste in my mouth because I'd be looking like, damn, you ain't even
Yeah.
talk to me. Or something like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
then it'll be like the whole, well, no, it could be something small. And I mean, I get it, I understand it. But then I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, how, especially if you got a whole bunch of replies of what transpired in the conversation. Oh, y'all was talking.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't talk to nobody about, certain stuff like that. Whereas though I'm gonna come back and be like, yeah, they said that I don't because what nobody else said. Because I know when it comes to me and who I deal with, my friends can't tell me what to do.
Right.
And I have a circle of friends, I can't tell them what to do. And I don't want to. I want you to
Mm-hmm.
make your own decision as the woman who you are because we're all different in relationships. And that's no matter who you are. You're not with the person 24/7. So I think,
Mm-hmm.
and even still going back to the social media thing, when people post everything on social media about their relationships, that should be phony as fuck.
Oh, hell yeah. I want to dress up. I'm going to talk about two comments. JB is like, but should you trust talking to a person about your past? I look at it this way. This is a new person.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't talk about your past? Now, if you got something going on, they ask you, and you feel you could trust them to talk about it, so be it. But don't talk about your past with a person. Go see a therapist about that because you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to put that headache or whatever you went through with that new person. Because that new person trying to learn you. Now, if they want to talk to you about it, okay, talk to them. But this, don't be like, yeah, check this out. This is what happened to me. No, they don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Start over. As for Tiff, damn. Like I said, look, y'all, I'm not a doctor. I'm a chef. I used to
So
be
can I say
EMT.
something about that real
Yeah.
quick? Um,
This so they
I
be like,
think
is he a doctor? I'm not a doctor.
so I think certain things you should
Mm-hmm.
hold dear until you really know what you're doing with a person. I
Yeah.
think it's okay to share certain things that you really don't care about. Like for me, I'm
Yeah.
an open book. Certain things I don't care because what my past is what shaped me to this amazing person that I am today.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on how you look at it. And then I also think, and when we talked about like coming from a space of when you dealing with people and you're not bringing your past into this new thing.
Right.
If I talk about my past, it's what I learned not to do. And this taught me something about myself, whereas though now I'm like this. And I think I shared before, like at one point I wasn't always a communicator or expressive of my
Me
feelings.
too.
And I'm like, but I do now. And I know that's something that I require. That's something that I need. So
It
the
took
thing
me
is,
56 years. Of my 60, it took me
right.
56 years.
So I think when all they want to do is talk about their past, I think that's more of an internal thing. For that person, I don't think it has anything to do with you. And
Mm-hmm.
I see that. I'm not going to do that because I actually went over this in class. That's the psych major coming out. But I think a lot of times we can't ignore our past either,
Mhm.
because do we grow? And now I think our experiences make us who we are. Yes. But if a person continuously focuses on that, they can't see past to see who you are today.
Right. Exactly.
And
That's what I was gonna say.
I
Yeah.
think that's when a realistic conversation or thought process for yourself has to be,
Hmm.
why? Why is it significant, or why is it, maybe you need to have a conversation of closure. Not saying that you have to end the relationship, but
Yeah.
okay, what is it that you really want to know? Because I want to continuously have this, because this is who I am now today. So let's
Yeah.
just close it out and just have a realistic conversation and let that person
Hmm.
know that it bothers you. I think we shelter our feelings so much, men and women. I think men do
Hmm.
it more so than
Oh,
women,
we do. Oh, yeah,
about
big time.
how certain things make them feel.
Yeah.
Especially I think men do it more because I'm not a
Hmm.
man, but I
You're
think they
right.
do it more because it's that masculine thing, and
Hmm.
men are supposed to be strong and not have feelings or not show emotion or feelings. So
Hmm.
when they do, be like, ooh. And a lot of people can't appreciate it. So I think it's a realistic conversation of, it's okay to tell people, leave you the fuck alone. Like I ain't there no more.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but just don't constantly bring up your past and this is J Bear and just keep talking about it because people were like, okay, dang, when we gonna start doing us? You know?
Oh, that's a good one. Drew
Yeah.
said, I feel like it depends on how you're talking about my past. Don't
Hmm.
reminisce and compare me to your ex. I'm gonna cut your ass off.
Exactly.
I think that's, yes,
Yep.
because I don't like, or if I say something and you go, oh, that's familiar, or that's what that bitch. What?
Yeah.
To me, that's the instant stuff like that sit with me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yep, that's
Yeah.
the yellow
That's what
flag.
I was talking about. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Proceed with caution. And I think that's
Yeah.
true. But if it's somebody that really continuously throw your past up,
Hmm.
I don't know. If it's not a comparison, but if it's like they can't see past this, I
Yeah.
think that's something deeper within themselves. And I mean, some people just have trust issues. Some people have their own stuff they got going on,
Yeah.
and it projects. So it's like, I think realistically, you gotta know what you can and cannot deal with.
And that's why it all goes back to the beginning with the communication. Talk and be straight up. And if the questions come out, okay, then answer the questions. But just don't be throwing random stuff out there. Like, yeah, let me tell you what this bitch did to me, man. Blah, 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 blah. No, man. The
But
way
what
I
does
look at it,
communication look like let me ask you this while you answer that. What
mhm,
does the communication look like for you as a man in the relationship?
keeping it 100 in terms of if something's wrong, let's talk about it. That's one thing. Don't just sit there and hold it in and be like, nah, nothing, nothing. You know, the damn roof about to crash in, but you telling me nothing, nothing, nothing. Because then I'm like,
Right.
okay, if you're gonna keep telling me, all right, nothing. Now when it crashed, I'm like, what? I asked you and you kept telling me nothing. I'm not gonna pester you. You know, I ask you if you can't talk to me, okay, but you want to talk later? No, okay, all right. I'm not gonna force you because then I don't want you getting pissed off at me because I'm getting on your nerves. But the main thing is, if there's something going on, mention it. If you can't talk about it real right, be like, I need to talk to you later on. Same with me. If I gotta talk later, I'm gonna holler at you later on. You know, we need to talk. You know, it's it's just be straightforward, man. And if you got a hard time saying stuff, just be like, I got a hard time articulating things. Just say it, cause then I'll understand. Like, okay, I understand. Well, just say it the best way you can, and we'll put it together from there. Now, not every man is, and not every woman is going to be that type of person that can be like, okay, I think you mean this, right? You got those.
Mhm.
Oh, remember when you said this? No, I ain't like this shit. No, you just gotta just you just gotta sit a person down and just talk, man. Just be like, if you can't do it, then be like, look, I need to talk to you later. But right now, I can't talk. Okay, you know, but don't
The
be like
communication
wilding
for
out.
me is more so, it's one thing with being able to talk, but can you
Mhm.
listen? Like, can you
Yeah,
not listen to argue or to just have a rebuttal, but actually listen to understand and not have a biased way of thinking, or just thinking from your own lens. That's important for me.
Yeah.
So Tiff says, see, well, let me take that bit. Well, I'm gonna go to Jew and then I'm gonna go back to the other comment. Jew
Mhm.
said, as first of all, she gets on my nerves.
I know.
Jew said,
That's why I was like, I'm gonna
as,
let you read that one.
Jew says, as a man, as a man,
I'll read it. I'll read it.
all right,
Juice
I
says,
got it.
as a man, I think communication means knowing when to listen and know when to speak. As a woman, I'll let you take that part.
As a woman, I can't get in my feelings over everything, and listening is key. That is true.
She's
That
right.
is true. I
He's
think we
right.
do as women tend to think without emotions and not
Both of them
logically.
right.
But I think also sometimes with men, I think
Mm-hmm.
we had this conversation earlier. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
men communicate with little empathy, or for the woman when she is in an emotional state of communicating. I think sometimes knowing or reading a room or knowing not when to be brute. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
be direct, you can be
Yeah.
communicative, but I think that's when you know how to handle someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
In their moments. Like the same way
Mm-hmm.
with women. You gotta know when to not say shit. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you got that one. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
you know, it's that's just what it is. And I had to from from personal experience, I had to learn it's okay not to have the last word.
Oh yeah.
Um, and then they'll be like, hello? Or they'll be like, oh, you ain't gonna say because I know if I
No.
say what I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna go left. So what we gonna do, we gonna keep it right here. And when the time is right, we can revisit and then I can say when I know it can be heard. But
But you know something?
if it's already in the way and it's gonna be blocked out, it's not gonna go that way. But if you see me getting emotional and then you say some old nigga shit, I'm gonna be mad. I can laugh
I
about
was
it
gonna
after,
mention
but
that
I'm
because
gonna be mad.
I was gonna mention that because I was like, okay, check this out. What if we're arguing and I'm like, all right then. You know, y'all women gonna be like, all right then. What you y'all
Oh
gonna
no,
ask
I keep
them?
going till I'm done because I got the flow. But listen, if I be like, all right,
Nah,
then I'm
I'm
gonna let you
clowning,
have
man.
it. I would definitely let you have it. So I'm gonna go back to the previous comment because I didn't know if the comment that people be watching. They said, see, he know me from my past, and he can't let this shit go. Plus, he has major trust issues that don't have nothing to do with me. I keep telling him he need a therapist, not a
Yeah,
girlfriend. You walk through life and can't trust no one, not one person, that ain't right. I agree.
yeah. I agree, Tiff. He needs therapy, man.
Um, then she said, send help.
I know.
I ain't
I
want to
see
say the
that.
name because I look, I didn't know. I ain't say the name. Bosco did because I don't know if he watching.
What,
I ain't
what
sorting
name?
no stuff in my home.
Is the name up there?
So
I'll say the name. Who is he?
no, ain't no name. We ain't
Oh,
saying no
but
name.
you know me,
I
I'll
ain't
call him. I don't give a damn.
saying, Jay says, I'm just saying, if you haven't been in a relationship since you were 19 or 20 and are now late 30s, early 40s, it may be rare, but it's going to be a learning curve there. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's really true. And then you'd be surprised. A lot of people spend that much time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know. Like, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that because that just means when you do find your person, you'll be able to receive them.
Yeah.
Um, and then he said, so oh Lord, what the hell do you say? Do you say when you can't let me read it in her voice because this is the only way I can get it out. Listen, when you can't communicate, say that shit to your partner. Take some time, not too much,
Yeah.
and talk to your partner when you're ready. I agree.
Yep. I agree.
Um, Jay says you gotta give it some grace. I literally don't know how to do this. I don't think there's no right or wrong formula for dating. You just take because everybody that you date is going to be different. I think it's
Yep.
just finding a person to be you. Like, I know I need somebody that can be that I can be goofy with. I can't date no real serious person.
Mm-mm.
I can't.
Nah,
It's
I know I
never gonna
can't.
work because
I
I
know I
play too
can't.
much.
That's for me. I
Um,
can't. I can't. They gotta have a sense of humor with me because I'll do some crazy shit. Dead ass. I'll do some crazy shit. Yeah, you ain't got no sense of humor and we ain't gonna get along.
not at all.
Cause
Not at all.
I'm the type, I'll throw some water on your ass as soon as you get to the house.
Well, you can't have no like overly expectations and then
Yeah,
be like, because then that makes me think, damn, I can't even be myself because shit, I ain't doing that.
yeah,
Because
yeah, for real.
I'm gonna be the one that's gonna pull a prank and then no. So I be having to really like vet it out first
Hmm. Oh yeah.
and stuff like that. But but I do know I also like I said, you have to know you like part of my personality is when I have my moments where I'm not feeling dorky or goofy.
Yeah.
I need that to be understood and I need that allowance
Yeah.
of that. And
Exactly.
instead of being like, what the fuck wrong with you? Bro,
Yeah.
give me a second.
That's what it all goes back to the communication stage where the beginning when you're talking like, hey, these are some of the some of the habits I have, you know, like I tend to be standoffish and be alone and secluded, but it's not against you. That's just the way I am. You know,
Mhm.
you can I could be like I can promise you that if I say I'm going to be by myself, I'm by myself. I'm not talking to the homies on the phone or hanging out. If I say I'm at home by myself, you could put a GPS on my car. You'll see I'm at home by myself. You know,
Okay, you ready for the next one?
you.
All right, so this one says, you
Look,
ready?
yep.
Is it important to respect each other's space in a relationship?
Yeah.
Explain. Like, what is your idea of space? Because everybody doesn't believe in space. So,
Like the
oh shit. Wait a
bathroom.
minute, hold up. We got a paragraph. Wait a minute. Let me read the paragraph. Tiffany, since she said I got permission to say her name. And well, before that, Jew said yes, and let me play my damn game in
Hmm.
peace. I agree. So Tiffany said the biggest issue we have is his trust. He
Hmm.
had he had teenage Tiff, 30-year-old Tiff, and now 40 plus Tiff. He do not understand. They are three different people. The
Right.
biggest beef is social media. He takes it so serious where to me it shits and giggles. Yo swear. Let me go back. Let me
Yeah.
read this to her voice too, because all right, so listen, the biggest issue is his trust. He had teenage Tiff, you feel me?
Yeah.
30-year-old Tiff, right? And now 40 plus Tiff, he don't understand they three different people. The biggest
Hmm.
beef is social media. He takes it so serious. Where to me, it's just and giggles for real.
Hmm.
Yo swear me up and down. No, yo swear me down. I be doing shit. But for real, I be chilling for real, for real. The trust
Damn.
issues for me is major. But with him, I don't know what else to do.
Damn, Tiff. You know
I
what?
I
You
think
should have
some
took
people
that
do pay
tissue.
attention to social. I think some people do pay attention to social media because
Mhm.
I don't because sometimes you don't know. Some people could have big families and some people have friends they socialize with, and I didn't know emojis was taken that seriously until recently. And I'm famous for sending a heart or something because I just be like, I think it's cute, but it
You know,
ain't me
I send
flirting
that
or
laughing
no shit
emoji
like
at
that.
everybody.
Yeah, but I heart everything. I be like the little like, and so it took for like some. I think my daughter had to tell me like, stop doing that. Like you flirting with people. That is not no flirt. That's like a thank you. And like,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like. And I'm looking like, oh, okay. So that really, I think some people take it out, and then you gotta understand some people really have friends or big families that
Hmm.
may you don't know who people be like. They could be saying I miss you because they haven't seen them in a long time, and that could be a
Yeah.
cousin, auntie, you don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Like my family,
Hold up,
my whole family are
Ju-
nuts.
hold
Everybody in
up,
my family.
Ju told Tiff. She said,
Oh, what you do
"Hey
to
yo,
that man? Too?
what you do to that man, Tiff? You put the hook
Put the
on him."
hook up. Some got that man going crazy.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
see now I forgot what I get ready to say. Hey,
While
oh
respecting
shit.
space, she said he take social media so literal. If men
Oh,
say good
that's what it
morning
was.
to me, he on a
My,
post, he be like, "See, this what I mean." I be like, "Damn, I said good morning first. I got over 1,400 Facebook friends. What I'm not supposed to speak."
you know what? My
She
whole
said I
family.
gave him that hook swat.
Hey, my whole family are crazy. Everybody, even my football cousins, my cousin who does real estate, all of them
Tickle.
are nuts. All of them are nuts. So when we laugh, we joke about everything, but we all know we put our heart at something very, very serious. People take social media. Social media is not. It's not that serious,
Oh,
man.
I'm cackling. That was too fucking funny to me. Oh my, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you good. Social media is. Yeah, I see. Social media is not that serious, man, and people just be going crazy. I can't believe da. That's why I troll people on Facebook because they get so. I said, since y'all want to get serious, I'm gonna really give y'all something to be mad at. That's why I troll them, man. Because and if I delete him off my page, oh yeah, don't do that, Tiff. If
I
you
like
delete him, it's
I
gonna be
like
a
this.
problem.
I like this one. Um,
I wonder if I
absolutely.
know him on Facebook.
Jay says absolutely. My quiet slash alone time allows me to regroup and become available for my partner.
Hmm.
When I'm overstimulated or overly anxious, I get snappy because I'm about to shut down and I become nonverbal altogether. I agree. And I think that's also respecting the space of life. I think that's a little bit deeper, and that's also paying attention to understanding where your person is like emotionally when they're overly stimulated and when they need a break. And maybe
My bad.
I don't need you all up in my face, or I don't need a hug or something. I might just need some air. I might just need to be by myself in a dim room or something like that for maybe like 30 minutes or an hour. And I think that's okay. Um, yeah. But for me, I think respecting space, I'm gonna tell you what bothers me.
Hmm.
And I had this happen, and to this day, this person don't know that I put two and two together.
Hmm.
Don't go through my shit. Don't go through
Yeah.
don't go through my stuff. If I invite you into my space,
Yeah.
don't go through my stuff, especially if I'm not in the room or I'm not in the same room. That means I trusted you enough to invite you. Don't do that, because that will get you disinvited and cut the fuck off. Because one thing I'm not going to do, I respect if you invite me into your space,
Hmm.
I'm not going through your stuff. That's your stuff.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm a firm believer in seeking you shall find, but I'm also a firm believer in if it's meant for me to know, it will present itself. But I'm not going through your stuff. If I'm going through, listen, I'm not just doing that. I have a strong feeling and dislike for that shit. Don't go through my shit at all. And y'all know it's raining, so I'm sorry, y'all just gotta deal with me right now. Um, so to say if it, so Drew said yes, going through my stuff without me now is sneaky behavior, and you are not to be trusted. I agree, because especially if you could ask me and you know I'm gonna tell you what you going through my stuff for. That's like that's just crazy to me. I don't like that. To me, that's the biggest thing I respect in my space. Because my personal space is that's mine.
Yeah.
You you don't have access to that. Um, and that's like the same way. Like, how would you feel if you going in? and you know you're doing something nice or you getting shit
Mhm.
together, and then while you out doing something nice, trying to put something together for me, and I'm going through your stuff.
Yeah.
Then the thing about it was when it happened. Okay, story time. This
Oh,
way it happened.
we had a story time in a while.
Over this story time. This is what had happened, right? Picture it, Sicily. So
Yeah.
so during the time I was so you know I invited the person over, right? This is a while ago, and I said okay. So it had to been when I was fixing dinner. He was going through my stuff. So when it
Dang.
came out, he no, but this is how he told on the stuff. We had a disagreement, right?
Yeah.
We had a disagreement. And he was like, well, you had such and such on the drawer. Now I'm gonna tell you what it was. So, you know, my boys smoke.
Yeah.
So when I had a cookout, they left something, little cigar, right? I
Mhm.
put it in my little, what is it called? My little nightstand. So
Yeah.
he was like, you ain't even tell me that you smoke. I was like, I don't. Anybody knows me, no, I don't smoke weed, right? I said I don't. I
Yeah.
said, if you would have asked me, I would have told you. So he not picking up that he's telling on himself.
Hmm.
But you thought you trying to find because you know this goes back to when people trying to find shit wrong with you because they can't believe you are who you really, really are. Okay, hand TV. Yeah, yeah, that was before. That was back in the current days. Yeah, I have taken an edible, but I don't actually, roll up. So you always gotta get technical. Let me put you back on me. Anyway, so we in a disagreement. So he bringing this stuff up like yeah, like it was a secret, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
because I'm like, what are you talking about? So and in my mind, I'm like, for you to see that, you had to go through my stuff because it's not out in the open. And then where it is, it was like okay, so you know how you have the opening right where you can pull the thing out. It's a box. And it was sitting like on top of the box. In order for you to see it, you had to put your hand up, like you had to been looking.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, ask me what happened after that.
What happened after
He ain't,
that?
he ain't been back over since. It was a wrap. I cut it off. Um, hold on. Tiffany put up a whole book. She did wait a minute, hold up. She said, oh my God. Wait a minute, hold up. Jew asked. Jew said you was ready to feed him and he going through yes. Girl, yes, I was making a nice dinner. I think I had made a fake. I'm gonna tell you exactly what the dinner was. I made like a pot roast, like
Yeah.
some green. Did I make macaroni and cheese that day? I made something. It was a nice little dinner. And I was like, this
Yeah.
bitch was going through my stuff and I'm out here trying to be domesticated. Yeah, it was real. So Tiff said, I'm an open book. I has nothing from this okay, you said on him. I'm an open book. I has nothing from this man. But
Hmm.
he been fucked over by so many women. He not saying that I don't be doing shit. He be sending screenshots asking me who this, how you know them, etc. He the first man I ever been with that I'm social media friends with. I caught him going through my phone one day. Big no for me. I'm not doing shit. I be chilling. Our biggest beef is social media though. And it is no point for him to be so jealous. I gotta keep going so hard with wait a minute. I gotta stop going so hard with Pound Town with him because he be tripping hard. He claimed he don't think I'm cheating, but he think I entertain other men on social media. But I don't
Check
be
this
though.
out. I'm gonna
And I
tell you
had
something, Tiff.
wait a minute, she ain't done. She said, oh, and I have too many girlfriends, too many men have
Mhm.
access to me. Wow.
Check this out. This is just my opinion. I am not a doctor. I am not a counselor. I'm nothing. You think he cheating on you? I say
Hmm?
that because I'm asking, does she think that he may be cheating on her? Because just my opinion, people that be like that, they're usually cheating themselves. So I'm not saying he is, but I don't know. People like that, I don't know. You might want to check him.
Okay, last subject, last topic, because I'm not fooling with you tonight. This came from a person that's married. What is the biggest cause of divorce? I can't touch that because I've never been married.
The biggest cause of divorce?
Mm-hmm. Oh, now cat got your tongue? I ain't never seen you this quiet.
Oh, and I'm trying to get. Well, from what I'm seeing these days, people just give up too easy. That's just my opinion. Now, if you go by the stats, this I think abuse was first, and then just neglect was second, something like that. Yeah, abuse, yeah, neglect, cheating, whatever, yeah, cheating. I think people ready to get out too
Okay, let's
soon.
just leave Diddy out of this one. We strictly are talking about a marriage thing, J Bear. So Diddy has nothing to do with that. We can't put him
Mm-mm,
in that. We can't. He did
mm-mm.
some foul stuff,
I, I,
but he
I,
can't. I think I can. But can you speak on the neglect? Because I don't think I think that's something a lot of people don't
I think it's
really
neglect,
when it
but
comes to being in a relationship, marriage, or whatever. Is what does neglect? What does that?
it depends. I mean, the neglect I'm talking about is people just unhappy. They're just not tending to the other, doing other things, and people just get lonely, stuff like that. And that can go to what causes people to cheat sometimes, because they're missing something at home. Now, I'm not condoning cheating and nothing like that, but I mean, that neglect can happen to where people just feel like this person don't want them anymore.
What's considered neglect? Like what? Like give me an example.
Not getting a person the time anymore, just ignoring them, just totally ignoring them. Come home from work, whoever or whatever, whoever's doing what, just finding other things to do other than spend time with that person. Like, I'm going to hang out with the homies. I'm going to hang out with the girls, and it's like coming home 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. That person's sleeping. You go to work the next day. You're doing your thing, and it's not just ignoring the person. Just ignoring them. Just not giving them that time that you used to give. You just finding other things to do. That's the
Hmm.
type of neglect, and that person,
Do
male or
you
female,
think
right?
people who
Some people just get too
I don't
comfortable.
even think sometimes it's okay, comfort. But do you
Mhm,
think sometimes like you may have a person, male or female, and
mhm,
let's say the relationship who may be a workaholic. And some people really feel like, okay, because I'm the provider, I'm this, I gotta do this, I gotta do that.
mhm.
So and I hear from a lot of people, and I've heard it from oh shit, what happened? Am I
You
here?
there? Yeah, you there?
I've heard it from like men who say, I'm gonna just go into it. And I know this person probably looking. Who a person who work all the time and they like, a woman needs um pretty much like the companionship to be held, all of this stuff, right? But
Mhm,
they were not in the space to their job was very demanding, like the hours.
mhm,
And anytime you call, they were at work, literally.
mhm, mhm,
So, but they feel like, okay, but you want the house, you want this, you want that. You know what I mean? Like you want all of these things, and that comes with
mhm,
me having to go to work. But then also it comes to the point like, okay, I get that, but you know, other
mhm,
things are come in handy. So I get that. So
mhm.
what is a person to do in that situation? Or what what do you think about situations like that where, and like I said, it's some women who get invested and completely swamped into their career where they forget
Mhm.
about home. All they know is work, their title, their job, and they forget that their partner has needs.
You have to sit down. So you got to sit down and talk. Like, hey, look, and y'all got to talk about it now. It all, things are gonna be predicated on how that person receives it. Then you decide, okay, well, this person is just not getting it. But you have to sit down and talk about, look, we got a marriage, we need to work. I know we need to work on this. We don't see each other. That's just a conversation that has to happen.
Mhm.
And it depends on how the person's response. The person like, look, I gotta do that. Well, that right there's a turnoff. I'm like, I'm trying to talk to you and you getting defensive, and I'm trying to talk to you because I'm trying to save our marriage or whatever,
Mhm.
you know. But you coming at me, you know, like I'm the bad guy and I'm trying to save it. And I'll be honest with you, if that happened with me, I'll tell you the truth. I'm like, okay, this may not work because, you know, I'm talking to this person on the up and up, blah, 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 blah. And this person's firing back at me like I'm the villain. And I'm just trying to have a conversation, So I think that's also something, it goes back to the beginning stage of communication. Like if you are already working those hours and, the person knows it, then, this is what that person signed up for. Hey, I work 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, da 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 da. You knew that when we walked into this. Now it's a problem. Now, if it happens during them, they got to sit down and talk like, hey, look, let's talk about this.
Mhm.
Yeah, a conversation needs to be had, and then you
Okay,
take it
so
from there.
okay, it's two things. I'm gonna get into Jude, but Tiff
Mhm.
wanted to clear up something that you said.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He said the main reason I don't think he's cheating is because of my health issues. He is invested in my health. I don't feel he would compromise my health by stepping out on the relationship. Um, and then she followed up by saying he do a lot of shit that could be
Mhm.
questionable, but I never trip. I don't make big issues out of some sneaky ways. Like for example, his phone stay on silent, red flag. Um, he loves super hard, maybe too hard. I can't catch a break. I'm just at a place, let's say, I'm just in a place in life where my peace means everything and I don't want to beef. I
Mhm.
understand that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and Drew made a good point. She said, and when it comes to the marriage thing, she says, I think some people rush into marriage and realize
Mhm.
later that that's not what they want or who they
Mhm.
want.
Mhm.
Marrying the person that cheated on you when you were in a relationship and
Mhm.
probably never forgiven. And I think that's true.
Mhm.
I do. You see a lot of people, but I think some people just stay or they marry for convenience. And because they still
Mhm.
think they're gonna do that, or they had like an ultimatum or something.
Mhm. Yeah, I
And
think
I think
people.
some people just get complacent and comfortable with a person, and some people I guess it makes more sense because I've heard that it makes sense.
I think people. That's it's the same with having kids. I think people rush into it, not thinking about it. Well, I mean, we're all guilty of it. You know, we're all guilty, and I think that's the one thing we rush into, and we blame the other. When
Get
I would
you,
say,
please get you out this comment. She will say I'm gonna have a man to man talk with him.
yeah, I ain't paying you no more mind. Yeah, and I think that's the problem is we we're quick to blame the other side. It's just like with having kids. We
Mhm,
blame the other, but it take two people. Am I here?
mhm.
Yo, okay, I'm
I'm
back.
listening.
My connection is all messed up, y'all. It takes two
Okay.
people to have a child. It takes both people to decide on are y'all gonna make this baby or not. it takes both. It takes both. So I mean, if a baby's born, it's both problem. It's both fault because y'all both knew it can happen. All guilty of it.
Who got kids
All of us.
coming?
Huh?
Who got kids coming?
I'm kind of breaking up on your end. I'm pretty sure because I mean,
I don't know where the kids come from. Jude says she hears divorce is expensive. Bosco is having some technical difficulties. We do apologize. I'm breaking up.
no, I am.
It's raining where
I hear you
he
now.
is. Helen, every time it's a female hurricane name, you notice she calls a whole bunch of terror. So it's raining really hard where she is. It's also raining here in Baltimore, so where we both are. So we do apologize for the technical difficulties that we may be experiencing tonight. Jay Bear says, my grandma always said, we go through storms, and marriage is one that's a test. They gotta work it out because what? Write that over because I didn't get that. I guess marriage is a test. They gotta work it out because it be testing you. I don't know. It says something. And then it says, then he also says, people don't believe in love anymore. I think traditional relationships are just a thing of the past. I think people fear being in love or being loved. I think some people are afraid to let somebody love on them. But I think
Yeah.
the traditional relationship is like pretty much non-existent.
Yeah. I think it's still traditional people out there, but it's so far in between because as for the men are afraid to show their emotions towards a woman, not because it's corny to the woman, it's because they don't want their friends to know that they're feeling this woman, which is stupid. They don't want their friends to hear them tell their woman, "Oh, I love you, I care about you." Da 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 da. They don't want their friends to hear that. And I just don't think men today, I mean, I like women, but I'm just saying, based on the women I know, I just don't think men. And look at how some of the dudes act. They act about feminine too. I just don't think the men today know how to love. They don't know. They don't know how to. They don't know how to present themselves as romantics. I don't think they're romantics. To their friends, they might be. Their homies.
What's romance?
I could say that. Hmm?
What is romance? You pausing a lot
Intimacy.
tonight. This deep thought. I ain't never seen you like this.
Because I want to say it right. I mean, it consists of a lot of stuff like holding hands, hugging, kissing, all that stuff. The way you speak to somebody, things you say, you know, and dudes today don't. It's like they show more love to their homies. They'll hug and kiss their homies. I'm just keeping it 100 than they do women. I think these dudes don't know how to. They don't know how to deal with women. They don't.
Okay, Tiff
Niggas is
replied to you.
fags, man.
I'm gonna read Tiff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna read Tiff paragraph. She replied to you.
All right.
She says, he do not. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute, y'all. He said, so Tiff says, okay. She says he does not trust
Right.
me at all. She said, I keep telling him to leave my ass. I'll be fine. He lets me know on a regular he do not trust me. So what is the point in the relationship? I just don't want no smoke. I get accused so much. I may as well do the shit, but that ain't me. He love hard as fuck. I've known him my whole life. We
Mm-hmm.
just we were just sexual. This time is the first time we tried a relationship, and it has been almost a year. And this man goofy as fuck. I really just want peace. Um, then Jude says, yes, them old people. I can't. Okay. Juice says, yes. I can't even get it out. Okay. She said, yes, them
Uh-huh.
old people be having them stories. LOL. They were raising the kids that's not theirs and nobody talks about it until they pass away. Granddad had a whole nother family and grandma had Uncle Charlie and they've been together
Mm-hmm.
up to like 50 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
So,
She's right.
hey,
She's right.
Richie.
What's up, Rich? I mean,
Then
she's right.
so she asked a good question. So she
Mm-hmm.
asked, I guess this is for Tiff. Are you happy
Mm-hmm.
or are you comfortable?
That's yeah. That's a good question. Are you happy or are you comfortable? And I think that's what a lot of people I think people are just comfortable. Forget that. I want to be happy. You know what I mean? I want to be happy, man,
Okay, and
because
we got an honest reply. We keeping everybody.
mhm.
So you guys in Radio Land, I'm keeping you guys up to date as well. At this point, I may just be comfortable. That was a realistic answer. Then Drew said, not attacking, just asking. Sometimes love blinds us, and we right are so much into other people that we forget about ourselves. Um, she says, I'm not unhappy until we're beefing. Then Jay said, Tiff, baby, oh Lord, I ain't reading that because you ain't about to get me. Lil Yo ain't gonna get me, but I'm gonna read it though. I ain't fuck that. He said, Tiff, baby, let him go, but do it easy. First of all, I need you to type that out. He is letting you know he is doing him day by day. That's not love, that's control. He know you not going nowhere. So you not happy, nor is he.
Control.
That was deep. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah,
I don't know what to
yeah,
say. I mean, I would just say you gotta do what's best for you. And I mean
yeah, yeah,
that's the only thing I could tell anyone. I don't care whatever your situation is, you know what you can accept, what you can't. You know what's for you and what's not. So ultimately, the ultimate
yeah,
decision is yours. Um, and the funny thing is, a lot of people even will openly admit that they do choose. Okay, I'm comfortable. I ain't by myself. I got somebody I can talk to, get on their nerves. I ain't gotta be in love, but I know I have this person right here
yeah,
to fill a temporary space.
yeah. I man, it's hard, man, because with me, I always say it's hard for me to fall in love with somebody again because of I know the pain of losing somebody in terms of breaking up and someone passing away. And uh that breakup is nothing compared to someone passing away. And that's my only fear is someone passing away. And mm-mm. I think that's probably why I'll never marry again. But I'll date someone and give everything I got. But as for getting married, I don't know. That's
I'm
a
gonna just
tough
give me
one.
a puppy. I'm gonna give me a
You said
puppy.
what?
I'm gonna just give me a puppy. I got to a point. I said, because it's always like, oh, okay. So I said, you know what? At the age I'm
Mm-hmm.
in my mind, I'm okay if it happens or if it don't. Right. My biggest,
Mm-hmm.
I tell anybody who's ever like talks to me or whatever. My biggest fear is growing old and not having
Mm-hmm.
companionship. It ain't even a husband. It's
Right.
not. It's just the
Right.
companionship. And I think that's
I
the
can see
thing.
that.
Because I've seen what that looks like for people to leave this earth
Mm-hmm.
with no companionship at all, and it doesn't look good. That's my biggest thing. So I think I'm okay with the whole not being married thing. I'm gonna give me like a puppy or two, something little small doggy, something.
Yeah,
Um,
okay, small
oh,
dog.
y'all still going in the comments? Hold on. So, Tiff says, I'm very okay with being single. I love him. I care for him always, but sometimes this be a bit too much for me. Um, okay. We have a long history. That is what be keeping us together. You said, girl, them damn dogs are needy too. But listen, at least I know they gonna stay. At least I picked them. Listen, I picked them. They ain't gonna talk back too much. Well, they do talk back, but you know where they gonna go.
But we all make those decisions though. Um, I don't know. But anyway, my connection is bad, y'all.
But that's good because we made it
Can
to
y'all
the
hear me?
end. Yeah, but Bosco
Yeah.
having technical difficulties because we are like right at the end. We probably had to do something a little bit better. Unfortunately, the weather is bad here. The weather is bad there. But Bosco is, you guys know, we are not near each other. Bosco is in what? Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah, what's north the
Yeah.
mountains.
In the mountains. I'm in Baltimore. So we both having connection issues due to weather. So we do apologize for the technical difficulties throughout the thing. I had to switch devices a couple of times, but it worked. It's okay. Still a good show. We thank everybody who sent in the topics, questions. We appreciate you guys for commenting as usual. Also, thank you also to the replay gang on YouTube, Spotify, all that good stuff. You guys are awesome. Jude, I need to get with you because we're going to do a women's panel. Bosco, I need you to get with Morena, please, so we can set a date for this. Of course, we are always open to topics, ideas, what you want to hear. You guys can join and do all of that good stuff. We are live, so what you see is what you get. But yeah, so my follow-up and closing with this is we had a lot of relationship stuff, and I think it went beyond the cheating. I think also do some self-evaluation on you, so that you know what you're getting into, and just make the best decision for you. You gotta live with it, not nobody else, and keep people out your business.
Right on. Yeah, keep your stuff off of social media because people love drama. Misery loves company. And you put your stuff on social media, you just letting people get in your business. Keep it on social media. There ain't nobody business with your own. With that being said, thank you for tuning into the Casual Convo Show every Wednesday from 8 to 10 p.m. EST, USA. Thank you to everyone who joined the show. Of course, Tiffany in the building, Jude in the building, Jay Nathaniel, my man King Paul from right here in Asheville, North Carolina. Jay Bear, forget them, or like the Ravens won, and Lamar Jackson won me some points on my fantasy team. So shouts out, but y'all still 1-2. Thank you to Rich
Richie
behind the
Hicks,
boards. I'm Bosco from the Bronx. Huh? See what?
Jay Nathaniel, Lamont, Richie Hicks Jr., Fallon.
Oh
I
yeah,
saw Tiffany in here. I saw a
yeah.
couple of people. Yeah, we had quite a few people come in. Thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, I think he froze. So, with that being said, I guess I'm going to take us out because he's having horrible connection issues. Thank you guys so much. Again, anything you want to hear, hit me up, hit Bosco up, let us know. We're going to put it in the show. So, you guys have a good night. We going to sleep. We going hopefully. Yes.
We're gonna
Next
work
week,
out
they
hurricane.
don't have no connection issues because hopefully the Helen be going up out of here somewhere. So,
Yeah.
thank y'all.
Peace.